Hello children, welcome to the Nelson School online education program Learn Better. Today's session will continue with the same chapter, that is direct and indirect speech. So these are the topics so far we have covered. We have covered the meaning of direct and indirect speech. We have seen the difference between the direct and indirect speech. Then we have gone for the rules for change in its tenses when the reporting verb is in the simple past tense. Then we have seen how to change the pronouns first person, second person, third person, and even with the possessive adjectives. Then I've taught you the nearness or the adverbial expressions in it, like we have to put a flower, okay? And then in yesterday's session, I have taught you assertive statements, okay? Today we'll go first for the interrogative statements, and then we'll go for imperative and exclamatory finally. So let us continue. This, as I have told you, there are different kinds of statements. That also I've explained to you in the previous session also, that there are 4 kinds of statements, and all 4 kinds of statements are dealt differently in the direct and indirect speech. Okay, so it's different kinds of sentences are rendered differently in the indirect speech. A question or a command cannot be reported like a statement. So there's a set of rules. There's a very vivid set of rules for conveying each kind of a sentence into indirect speech. Let us begin the interrogative sentences. Now, what are the interrogative sentences, children? An interrogative sentence is usually used to ask a question. Okay, there are 2 kinds of interrogative sentences. It gets divided into 2. That is, one is WH, the question statements that begin only with the WH, like where, what, why, whom, whose. Okay, and there are another kind of questions called inversion questions. Now, what are inversion questions? That will begin with a helping verb and which would get the answer either yes or no. Okay. So the reporting verb here, what I'll tell you to always do it at the first step, that is said to or says. The reporting verb will change to either asked, enquired, okay, or interrogated. And words like enquire or demand, you have to use it, but they should be followed by the preposition of. For an example, she enquired of me. Okay, whenever you're using the word enquired, you have to use a preposition of. Otherwise, if you want to use the word asked, okay, then you can simply asked it. And if it, you can even use interrogated. Okay, now because you're using changing the reporting verb said to into either asked, enquired of, demanded of, or interrogated, you have to see to it that in the direct speech, okay, or reported speech, if the question is asked, that question should change into assertive statement first. Okay, so the question form is changed into the statement form very first, then the question mark is dropped, it's removed. Why? Because we are already changing the question sentence, interrogative sentence, into an assertive statement, so there's no need to have a question mark in that. Next is no conjunction is used, like that is not used here. Okay, but you have to see to it that if it begins with WH question, then you are not supposed to use any of the conjunctions. But yes, but if it begins with the helping verbs like am, is, are, was, were, has, have, had, do, does, did, okay, or any of the models like will, would, okay, shall, should, then you have to go for using the conjunction if. Okay, conjunctions if or whether, both can be used if their statements, as I've told you right now. If it begins with am, is, are, was, were, has, have, had, do, does, did, or any of the model auxiliaries. Let us start solving it first. So here it's written, she said to me, what are you going to wear for today's party? As I've told you, children, I'm going to teach you every now and then, every next day I teach you a next step to it. Okay, but that doesn't mean we forget the earlier steps that we have already done. Okay, so we'll begin the very first step only, that is underline the reporting verb, that is said to. Okay, circle the reported verb are going. Because it is said to in the past tense, so this are going will be changed to either was going or were going, because present continuous changes to past continuous. Now then next step is to deal with the pronouns. So we'll start dealing with the pronouns now. So you have to circle the speaker, you have to box the listener. Okay, and now inside the inverted commas, see the pronoun. So it's you, second person, so I'll put a box. Now second person changes with the listener. Your listener is in which person pronoun? Me, that is first person. So this you will also change to first person. What are you going to wear will change to what I am going to wear. But tense will change, so it will become I was. Okay, so we have dealt the pronouns. Now see, any nearness is there. So yes, put a flower, it's today's. Okay, so it becomes that days. Okay, now you can see it's an interrogative statement, so you have to remove this interrogation mark. Now see to it that your interrogative statement begins with WH, or it begins with a helping verb. Now children, here you can see that it is beginning with WH, so you have to keep it as it is. Okay, so it is she asked me what. Okay, now children, usually we have told you in active passive, and usually it happens with WH there's a helping verb used. Okay, helping verb should be used, but this is direct and indirect speech, so children, make sure that whenever you're using WH or any of the conjunctions like if or whether, make sure to first put a pronoun only there, or a noun, as I have put it here. You see, I, what, and I. See here, I didn't write what was I going to wear, I'm writing what I was going to wear. Okay, why? Because if it is interrogative, then WH plus helping verb you put, but this statement interrogative I am changing to assertive, so here there is no need to put WH plus helping verb. Here we'll put WH plus noun or a pronoun. Okay, so now because it is interrogative beginning with a WH, we'll put a triangle and bring down same. Okay, so here the reporting verb said to, you can change to she asked me. Okay, or she inquired of me, so we can write she asked me what I. Okay, here this you, as I've told you to change it to I, so it is what I was, because it is I cannot write were, so it is what I was going to wear for today's, will change to that day's party. Okay, you have to drop the interrogation mark. Next is Sita said to Geeta, why are you in such a hurry now? So it is said to, underline the reporting verb, then go for the reported verb, that is are. Simple present will change to either was or were, that depends. Now go for solving the pronouns. So it is Sita. For that we have to first circle the speaker, that is Sita, and then Geeta, the listener, that is box. Okay, so then here inside the inverted commas you have to go for the pronouns. So it is a second person pronoun, that is you. Okay, so second person pronoun you have to box. Now second person changes with the listener. Okay, now listener is Geeta, she's a girl, she's in third person, so I'm going to use she. Okay, now we have dealt with the pronouns. Now go with the nearness, it is now, so now will change to then. So it is, because the reporting verb is set to, so you can again use the reporting verb to asked, or you can change it to inquired of. Okay, so now you see to it that the interrogative statement begins with WH or the helping verb, so it is beginning with a WH question. So WH question, put a triangle and bring down same. Okay, beside it, now here you have to use Sita asked Geeta, or Sita inquired of Geeta why she was in such a hurry, now changes to then. Okay, so next now number 3, Mohan said to me, will you join the meeting today? So if it is set to, okay, the first step is to go for the reporting verb set to. So underline the reporting verb set to. Fine. Then you have to circle the reported verb, that is will. Okay, because it is set to in the past tense, so will is a model that will change to would. So that I have changed it. Okay children. Now go for the pronouns. So Mohan is the speaker, circle it. Me is the listener, box it. Okay, then inside the inverted commas, if there is any pronoun, that is it is you, so it is a second person pronoun, so you have to box it. Okay, now second person pronoun changes with the listener. Your listener is in first person, as you can see it's me. Okay, so here also you will change to something in the first person, that is I. Okay, so this we have dealt with the pronouns. Now go with the nearness. So it is nearness today, so today will change to that day, nearness. Okay, then that we have done. Now go with the, because the statement is an interrogative statement, so you can use the word interrogated, asked, inquired of. Okay, now you see to it begins with the WH question, or it begins with a helping verb. Now children, this is beginning with a helping verb and not WH. So because it is beginning with the helping verb, I'll be using a for whether as a conjunction. At the place of that, I will use a for whether now. Okay, so it is Mohan inquired of me whether, or if you can use, and I told you whenever you are using it WH or you are using if for whether, make sure there is a pronoun next to it. So it is Mohan inquired of me if, this you have changed to first person, so I, so if I would join the meeting that day. Number 4, she said to me, aren't you afraid of going out alone in the dark? So first step is to underline the helping verb, reporting verb, that is said to. Then go for the reported verb, that is aren't. Okay, not is a negative word, so it's are. Simple present changes to simple past. Either were you can use, or we can use was. Dealt with the verbs. Now go for the pronouns. Circle the speaker she, box the listener me. Okay, now inside the inverted commas, if there is any pronoun, just check. So it is you, so it is a you, second person pronoun, so box it. Now second person pronoun changes with the listener, so your listener is in first person pronoun. Again, this also you will need it in the first person. You are afraid will change to I am afraid. Okay, so because it is, now we have dealt with the pronouns also. Now just check if there is any nearness. There is no nearness over here. The statement is interrogative, so go for the first word, whether it is WH or the helping verb. So children, you can see it's a helping verb over here. So again I have to use the conjunction if or whether. Okay, so I will use here if or whether, anything you can use. So now it is she asked me or she enquired of me, you can ask. So here you can write if, okay, or you can write whether. Immediately beside it put a pronoun. So it is she asked me whether, this you have changed according to the listener, so it is I, and this is simple present, so it changes to simple past was. So it is she asked me whether I was afraid of going out alone in the dark. Now number 5, I said to the teacher, how many children have already taken admission to the French class? So the first step will remain same, that is said to. You have to underline the reporting verb said to. Then you have to go for the reported verb have, because it is in the past tense, said to. So this reported verb have, that is present perfect, will change to the past perfect, that is had. Okay, now you go, the next step is to deal with the pronouns. So that first step is to go for the speaker, circle the speaker I, okay, box the listener the teacher. That I have done. Inside the inverted commas you have to check if there is any pronoun, but inside the inverted commas there is no pronoun, so no dealing with the pronouns. Then see to it that if there is any nearness or any adverb used, there is no nearness or adverb used. So now this step also gets okay. Next step is to go for the kind of a statement. This interrogative kind of a statement. See to it begins with WH or it begins with a helping verb. Now this is beginning with a WH question. Okay, so we'll put a triangle and bring down same. Now again I have told you, because when WH is used, you are not going to use the conjunctions if or whether. Okay, but you will make sure that beside this WH, if or whether, there is a noun or a pronoun. So it's a noun over here, you see children. So it's okay. So it will be I asked the teacher, okay, or I inquired of the teacher. No need to put any conjunction because WH question is there. That is how many children have changes to had. So it is have already will change to had already taken admission to the French class. Okay, so I hope you have understood this, the children, clearly. This was kind of an interrogative statement. Once again we'll go through it, that if the interrogative statement begins with WH, okay, you will put a triangle and bring down same. You will not use any of the conjunctions like that, if or whether, and you will simply, that is not to be used only in the statement. In short, any of the statement that cannot be used, you have to use if or whether only. So if it begins with a WH question, no need to use if or whether, and make sure with the WH question you are putting any noun or a pronoun. But if the question begins with helping verbs or any of the models, then you are going to put if or whether. And again make sure with if or whether you have to use a pronoun very next to it. Okay, so that's it for this section, children, today. Thank you.